Well, Pam, as you can see, there are more than 1,000 people gathered here at UN Plaza to protest the Chinese occupation of Tibet. Now, these are the same people who, along with others, plan to line the streets tomorrow and continue to demonstrate as athletes and dignitaries carry the Olympic torch through the city. But today, the demonstrators have their own torch. It's one that symbolizes a cry for Tibetan freedom as well as outrage at the Chinese government. Waving Tibetan flags, marchers chanted a battle cry they hope is heard halfway around the world.
China lies, people die! China lies, people die!
Less than a day before the torch for the Beijing Olympics passes through San Francisco, they marched on City Hall, where just last week, Supervisor Chris Daly passed a resolution condemning the Chinese government.
We will greet this torch on the streets of San Francisco with alarm and with protest.
But that protest, say organizers, will be peaceful.
We will achieve our objective of restoring freedom to the Tibetan people through nonviolence.
What we've been doing is training our people to act in nonviolent ways in our protests.
Nonviolent, but highly visible.
Free Tibet now!
White doves to symbolize peace and freedom, and a torch lit with a small light bulb to symbolize hope. Because freedom of speech in Tibet is limited, protesters here in the U.S. feel they must be twice as loud.
Take a stand for freedom and justice, or bow to the political games of an authoritarian and brutal regime.
Now, what's going on is part of a long and carefully scripted protest that's been happening since 11 o'clock this morning. In just another hour, Archbishop Desmond Tutu and actor Richard Gere are expected to take the stage here at UN Plaza. Heather and Pam?
Jonathan, with so many people out there, how is it affecting traffic in that busy hour as we get into the commute?
Well, the police department is trying to keep the folks here out of the street, but they have had to limit parking on certain areas around the Civic Center and on both sides of UN Plaza. Police are standing by on the sides of the roads to block off the streets if the protest should happen to spill out into them. And of course, you have that little bit of a slowdown with onlookers stopping to see what's going on.
Jonathan, there are a number of people in the Chinese American community who are very excited about this Olympic torch and certainly about the Olympics in Beijing. Many of them are organizing here in the Bay Area. Are you seeing any sign of them at the UN Plaza today?
There are most certainly Chinese people here as well as Tibetan protesters, and there really doesn't seem to be any sort of conflict going on between them. The spirit here is that the Olympic torch does symbolize the games. There are simply varying degrees of protest with which people here at the UN Plaza and all over San Francisco want to greet that torch. And so everybody is here. There's no sign of hostility going on, simply some differences of opinion over whether the Olympic torch really is involved with politics or over whether it simply symbolizes the game. Now, earlier on, what we had was the people here at the protest were marching over to City Hall. Then they marched over to the Chinese consulate. And KRON 4's Dave Gingona has more on what happened there.